I know some of you are tired of being victims, tired of being told you can't achieve your dreams. You want to achieve your goals, that the things in life you want to do, you can't do. That the things you want in life are unreachable. I know you are tired of hearing that. That is why I'm talking to you today. Because today, I want you to fight back. Fight back for what you believe in. Fight back for what you want to achieve. Fight for your dreams, fight for your goal. Sometimes you're not just fighting for yourself. Sometimes you're fighting for your friends. Sometimes you're fighting for your family. Make certain you fight back.
And hello everyone, I'm Roy Potter. This is the Potter Expositor, and today is the 17th of April, 2019. I'm out and about. I'm out on my phone because I'm expecting a phone call and I really need to have it available in case I get the phone call during this. And I noticed the internet connection isn't the best, and I'm probably reflecting back on you so bad that you can't really see, so let me move that a little bit. Yeah, hopefully that's a little bit better. I've got the sun right in my eyes, but I figured that was better than the other way. Give you a little expanse back here to kind of look at. Okay. Why did I call this It Was? Well, frankly, I think I've been totally black-pilled at this point. You know, Trump did not sign the the Senate resolution to end the war, end the support of the Saudi war in Yemen, and his excuses for that were just typical military-industrial complex baloney. And it seems like to me that nothing's ever, you know, and a lot of you folks out there, I know, you know, one day I'm up and I'm happy about things, and the next day I'm just pissed off. Well, that's kind of what happens, you know. That's why I say I think I'm just getting blackpilled. Maybe there is no hope for this republic or for the world. And I hate to sound so pessimistic, but this is asinine. Nick Griffin, he's not a big guy on Twitter, but this is what he said. Quote, "No wall. Support for max immigrants. Insane Cold War with Russia. And now the Yemen veto. Long list of pledges that have not been kept from Donald Trump, who is a virtual hostage of the neocon warmongers." You know what? I don't know why the deep state is fighting against Trump so much. He's doing everything they want, with a few exceptions. Everything. It's like I said one day, it seems like we've got a slow-motion Hillary Clinton in this thing. You know, I understand strategically why they're after Iran. It's an underbelly of the USSR. The Saudis are really nothing more, as I've said before, than a mirror image, the other side of the coin of the Israeli government. They're the same people. But the murdering of innocents doesn't seem to affect Mr. Trump's decision-making at all, making it sound like, oh, it's to protect our troops and the American citizens. Baloney. So I am getting blackpilled, and I'm getting more and more disgusted every day. Now we have Barr trying to do the very things, bringing people outside the DOJ, as I said last night, bringing people from outside the DOJ to do this so he doesn't have to depend on the crooks inside the DOJ. And yet Trump won't do that for his administration. Maybe Barr's going to clean this thing up despite Trump. I don't know anymore. I didn't start this on the hour because, like I said, I have to get going. Yeah, I don't know why the deep state's fought Trump. He's done everything to prove that he's on their side. He's following their program damn near to the letter. And our voices seem to make no difference whatsoever. We're out there defending Trump day after day after day. Not me, of course. I go depending upon what his actions are. But his supporters are out there every day, and all he keeps doing is backing away from his original campaign promises. Isn't that always the way it's been with people that get in that office? I'm having severe connection problems here, so I apologize. It's probably jumping like crazy. And then he says that the Senate resolution is going to, against Yemen, or getting out of Yemen, is going to interfere with his presidential authority. Maybe we're lost. Like I said the other day, our country is so demented, so deranged. Maybe we really don't deserve to have anything from the Republic left. Lying pieces of crap that get into office, make promises and don't keep them, and I don't care what the reasoning is. But yeah, 9/11 was done by the New World Order white supremacists, and they talked all about it, about how they were going to do it in the Project for a New American Century. Let me move on to another thing. CNN, you don't know what their motivations are, what they're saying. And I'm sorry again about the transmission. The stupid connection here is not worth a crap, it looks like. CNN says, CNN Business is now reporting that there are 6,000 retail store closures so far this year. 6,000 store closures this year already, which is more than all of the store closings last year. Are they just attacking Trump's economic policies and not telling the truth? Well, no, I don't think so, because I see it when I'm out traveling. And not just retail outlets, service outlets. We need to repent. And our leaders are just, no matter who we put in there, they become corrupt, or if they weren't corrupt already. A lot of people say, Roy, you're a real fool because you think this will change. Only Jesus will change it. Only God will change it. Well, you know what? We as a species need to have a download, I guess, of a change in our hearts and minds. But I don't know. Trump was talking about doing all these major changes, and here he is backing off. Not just backing off, he's fleeing from his base, from his campaign platform. Is it the aphrodisiac of power? The power over life and death, the power over whether the economy is doing well or not, the power over money, over debt? Is it just that supreme power that's such an aphrodisiac that then you have to partake with all those demons? So, ladies and gentlemen, I won't take long today. Apparently this connection here isn't good. It keeps going to red. This is probably jumping around like crazy. Notre Dame, I don't know. It's interesting that that the commentators and everybody were so intent on as Alex Jones pointed out yesterday, or some other people. First of all, don't say that it may be arson, because we don't know who did it. We got to wait and see. That's what the newscasters would say, like on even on Fox, Shepard Smith. But then in the next sentence, after he hangs up on the people he's interviewing, he says, well, we know it's not arson, we know it's not terrorism. First he says he doesn't know, and then he goes there, and obviously this is all the same thing. This is 9/11 all over again. They gave these people, if it turns out, if we ever find out that it was Islamic extremism, the people in charge, those white guys, gave those people their guns to rob the bank. And the Saudis are more behind it than the Iranians are. The Sunnis are more behind it than the Shiites. You know, maybe the Iranians are really smart. Maybe the Shiites know how bad the Sunnis are. The Sikhs sure do. You know, the Hindu sect that was formed to fight off the Islam in India and Pakistan. Our national, our policy, our foreign policy sucks because we always support the bad guys. And the bad guys is us. Notice I use the singular verb. Not grammatically correct, but it's emphasizing what's going on here. Let me see what's going on in the chat. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I so very rarely can give you good news because I just can't believe what happens here. You know what this means. I have no doubt that Trump supporters will be blind-eyed, have their blinders on, looking tunnel vision, and think, I love my Republican insider, and he's been critical of Trump a few times, but damn. The truth about 9/11 hasn't come out. The truth about JFK assassination hasn't come out. The truth about all of these terror activities, Las Vegas in particular being the most recent. I mean, there have been a lot of others, but this is getting outrageous. Operation Gladio has gone worldwide, but it's not to supposedly stop the communists. It's to establish an authoritarian regime, not prevent it. And that's not really what Gladio was about anyway, but that was the precept. Get those idiots to do the bidding, the people that did those horrible things, to do the bidding of this group, that doing this would improve things in the long run. You kill innocent people for no reason, and it doesn't matter what the Machiavellian reason is. You've committed something that's going to come back on you. Where is God? I'm going to publicly call for him. Where are you? This is your creation. Are you not going to step up and do something for it? Are you not going to step up and say, I've had enough? Because men certainly don't. Donald Trump has proven that. We have no righteous leaders. I trust what at least Putin stands up for his people in Russia. Really stands up for them. Doesn't talk about it and then do just the opposite. And I don't care if they do have a gun to Trump's head. I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe it at all. So I've been officially black-pilled, ladies and gentlemen. This thing now, you're willing to kill innocent people, stating military objectives and necessities, protecting Americans, it's baloney. I'd like to say something more, but I won't. I've had it. The only reason why I want Barr to succeed is not to exonerate Trump. I want you to understand this. I want Barr to do this job right, but not for the purpose of exonerating Trump, but for the purpose of cleaning out our government as much as possible of these corrupt people that are in the DOJ, the FBI, and the IC, and the State Department for that matter. He could even get over to that side. That's all I want. I'm not after it to get Trump all cleared of all possible charges and all possible claims against him and all this. All these politics. I don't care about him anymore. I don't care about Trump. I care about what's happening to the country, about what's happening to our principles. Trump can go to hell as far as I'm concerned, and he probably is. I can't judge him, but damn. So, again, and I want Barr to succeed in cleaning it out. We're on our own, ladies and gentlemen. Even if Barr succeeds, we're on our own. There are a few good things turning around, like I talked about with that vet yesterday, but isn't it interesting that it's after he died that the Supreme Court says, yeah, his conviction needs to be overturned and the fine against him needs to be reversed. The lien needs to be reversed so that it's not against the people that will inherit. Maybe I am a black and white person. Maybe I can't stay in the gray area and make excuses saying, the lesser of two evils. I've tried to make that balance in the past, and you know what? I get screwed every time. Don't you? Don't you? Yes, water dogfish, I know. The secret society, I understand what's happening at the top. This is the feudal system. It's one leader, one king against another king, or one rich person against another rich person, and they're vying for power, and we're the pawns, and we allow it to happen. Start a war somewhere, oh yeah, we've got to go and support our country. We got to go support it. Nationalism can be bad, but I don't agree with an autocratic central world government, because look what the perfect example of why that won't work is the supposed sovereign, free, independent states, the United States, each one being a separate sovereign, gave a central government certain enumerated powers. And what did the central government do? It usurped more than it was allowed to do. And we did nothing to stop it. And when we did try to stop it, they turned it into a civil war that killed more of us than any war we've ever been in. And it wasn't just about slavery. It was about that central government keeping power, and the British knew it. Yeah, I'm disgusted. I really am. How is this going? Is it jumping around a lot? Will somebody let me know? Just let me know if the sound in the videos, because what I'm showing here is that the video keeps going out. The internet keeps skipping. That seems to be the problem. Okay, it's all good. You do want to keep faith. You do. I understand that. But it's not faith in these people, because they lie no matter what. When the Israelites wanted a king because they wanted to be like all the other nations, they didn't want God to be their king anymore. They wanted a king that they could look at and worship, basically an idol to replace God. What did God tell Samuel? They haven't rejected you, they've rejected me. And yet we're expected to work within the world that we find. We're expected to do that. Maybe the lesson is it's futile. Maybe the whole lesson at this thing is no matter how hard you work at it, it's futile. But does that mean that we just back off and don't do anything, that we don't stand up for what's right, that we don't demand our leaders to do the right things and to abide by the law? I don't think that's what it means. But I know that demanding it doesn't do any good. YouTube's playing with me really bad. I won't explain how. It's a good thing I don't monetize anything. They probably they probably would demonetize everything that's on here. Those ads that you see, but they know that I'm not getting paid for that. They know that the creators of those graphics and the music are getting paid. So that's the reason why they haven't demonetized me. God is the only answer. That's true, Hal. I understand. I never look to man. But man is the hand of God in so many circumstances. Sometimes these people are just there to chastise us. They don't know that. They think they're going for power and control and all that, when in reality God's given the power because we've been wicked, and it's a chastisement. I mean, I have a dark side. We all do. I have a dark side. If you don't have a dark side, there's something wrong with you. But you don't give in to that dark side. You might tantalize with it every once in a while. It's kind of the creative power, but you don't give in to it. Not completely. You throttle it. If remember yesterday somebody asked me a question, well, is God going to create a place, or is God going to make everything right, make evil go away, and everything will be right? And I said no. God said he creates good and evil. The dark side is necessary. It's what you do with it that matters. Again, it's the righteous use of something. The Luciferians took it, and I call them that for lack of a better term, just so you know who they are. They don't call themselves that. They know who the real badass is. The evil one. They know his real name. And I've talked about that before. But they've accepted that because, in fact, it's the easy road. If you get on board with these people, you get money, power, the opposite sex. They give that all to you. It's an aphrodisiac. I'm beginning to think Trump did have more to do with Epstein than I originally thought. Because this isn't making any sense. I feel bad for Melania because I don't think she's a part of any of this. The women often aren't a part of it. Okay, I've ranted and raved enough. Beelzebub. Yeah, you know what that means, Lord of the Flies, right? That's what Beelzebub means. Who's on here doing the Liza Jean? Liza Jean, thanks for being my moderator this morning again. You're so kind to be there and to keep, these trolls on here. A lot of them aren't just bots. I guess you know that, right? I do make some sort of an impact in the IC, and they like to attack me. And I think most of you know that. Did you, let's see, Don Jones, did you see they wouldn't speculate? Yeah, that's just what I covered, right, Don? Yeah. And I don't know that it was. It's like I just said about 9/11. Who paid for the guy? If this is even the way it happened, who paid for those guys to go to the flying schools and then to fly those planes, and who paid them, and who trained them, and all of that? That's just like giving a bank robber a gun and telling go rob that bank. You're as liable for that attack as that as the bank robber is. Maybe even, pardon me, the coffee's making me burp. Maybe even more so. It sounds like a lot of you are really upset. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. No PhD coyote. Mostly hypergamous women's stores. Now that's interesting. Why? Because of the transgenderism? Because of the transitioning? That's an interesting observation. I'll have to check into that. Thank you, no PhD coyote. I appreciate that. That's a good point. Actually, I have noticed that. However, a lot of service stores too, service businesses. But that's a very interesting thing that you're saying, that hypergamous. For those of you who don't know what that means, it's women who well, actually it's different aspects of it, but yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Never mind. My phone's ringing. Let me see who this is. Yeah, that's it. They'll know. I'm sorry. I am flustered this morning. I am flustered this morning. AI is coming. Yeah, that's another thing. The 5G push, which is right into the AI, into the Internet of Things, into the eternal panopticon. No effort to stop that. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about something else about that last night. I should always write these things down. The excuse that we have to beat the Chinese. Oh well. Well, Don Jones, I appreciate what you're saying. Retail store is an investment, not capitalism. I've seen, I understand a lot of times real estate also is used as a tax write-off. Retail stores, I understand that, but I don't see. I'm in probably. I travel through one of the most economically secure places supposedly in the United States, and it doesn't look good. Other than the construction on the roads, there's hardly anything, and housing right now seems to be going pretty well. But a lot of other things aren't going well at all. Not at all. Elizabeth Clemis. Now you are getting right, Roy. Well, I've always been here, Elizabeth. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I usually end up getting kicked in the rear end every time I do. I mean, in more ways than one. I ought to become just a nasty, vindictive, isolated, old geezer. But I guess I don't, because I understand the people go where they're led. They are sheep. And if they're going to be led down a path of evil, they'll go. They're not the ones that are going to make it all the way up when this is all over. And I realize that. Those are the people that, neither God nor Satan wants. They're the dross. They're the ones that get thrown off the side of the ship. That's a horrible thing to say, but it's in the scriptures. God says, I would that you would either be hot or cold, but if you're lukewarm, I'll spew thee out of my mouth. Jesus called his people sheep. You know what? He wasn't complimenting them, and they don't understand that. He made the division of the sheep and the goats, right? Being a sheep is not a compliment. Laura O'Rourke, I understand what you're saying about Iran, but you've got to understand what's happening here. This is all to get at Russia. It's the neocons, the Trotskyites. Iran isn't the bad guy in all this. We're the ones that destabilized Iran back in 1953. Well, we put in the Shah. We took out the elected guy and we put in the Shah, Mossadegh. We took him out and we put in the Shah of Iran. And things were pretty good for a while. But Iran wasn't a bad place before that. Look what it is now. We forced the Ayatollahs in there, these religious fanatics that run the country, with Sharia law. But the Sharia law in Iran isn't as bad as it is in Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry, it isn't. And we stay friends with Saudi Arabia. Why? Because they're not on the underbelly of Russia. Go look at a map. That tells you everything you need to know. We could have made peace with Iran a long time ago. They've done some bad things. They took our ship, but we never addressed the primal cause of why we have a problem with Iran. We never address it because we want to point fingers at them and use them as the bad guys. Understand there's a difference between Shiites and Sunnis. And in the Sunnis, there's a difference between a regular Sunni person and a Salafist or a Wahhabist. And they're the bad ones, which Saudi Arabia is. Okay, well, I've gone for 30 minutes, and I'm surprised I did it that long. I'm just going to go down the list here real quick and see if anybody asks a question. What happened in Las Vegas back in 2017? In the Harvest Festival where they killed 59 people and wounded like 500. Oh, that was a lone gunman. Yeah, right. FBI lied on that, and Trump's letting him get away with it. I wonder if Barr's going to do anything about it. Probably not, because they don't want to show how involved our IC was in that, including the FBI. Well, that's a good point, Michael Parkhurst. I've seen you before, thank you. He said, if we want to make things right, it has to start with 9/11 truth. Yeah. Well, again, it looks like, I'm beginning to wonder if Trump will ever declassify any of the information. I think Jim Jordan, Mark Meadows, Devin Nunes, I think all of us, including those guys, have been had by a charlatan. He'll only do it if it saves him. He's not going to do it to save the country, despite what he says. He's already proven that. Innocent blood means nothing to him. Okay. You all are wonderful to show up here on a moment's notice like this. I appreciate it. I'm not going to keep going. The connection really is a problem. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I'll go ahead and go. Plus, it's breakfast time. This wasn't really planned. I kind of decided to do it at the last minute because of this Yemen thing. And when I saw Tucker Carlson say, they're gonna believe that white supremacists did 9/11, that's they did. They did. Just like I've explained, they're the guys that gave the gun to the robber to rob the bank. They may not have been at the bank robbing the store, although they controlled the whole thing like Cheney. But they're as guilty as if there were guys that did that, they're just as guilty as them. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'll get out of here for now. I'm just going to run a real quick little exit here. See if I can find one that's short. Yeah, let's just do this one here. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to play my life story one. We'll just do one of these real short ones here. Okay? Thanks a lot, everybody.